Today I had a really interesting insight about my YouTube and business journey. Essentially, when I was getting my master's degree a number of years ago, there was an outcome at the end, which was this piece of paper that said I have a master's degree, and that degree would help me move forward with, my professional life, etc. So there was an outcome. Then after the outcome, there was predefined steps in order to do it. Like in order to get that piece of paper, you had to do X, Y, and Z. And then with the particular program I was in, there was some flexibility of how fast I wanted to do it. Whether or not I wanted to do it take a class every month, or I wanted to take a class every other month. And then I could go on these break periods. Then once I was in the class, I also had a predefined outcome. I needed to get a certain grade. I needed to turn in these work assignments by this time frame. And then all of these little building blocks would culminate into the final outcome of a piece of paper. In that case, my master's degree, or same thing with my bachelor's degree. What's difficult about building a business, particularly on YouTube, or I guess just in general, a business in general, is what is that final outcome? Is it making $1? Is it making $10? $100,000? Is it doing that on repeat? Is it building a team? What is that outcome? And I don't mean this massive big picture outcome of like, what am I trying to accomplish with my life and how is this going to be there? I just mean kind of like within the next few years outcome. And so as I'm doing this whole YouTube journey, what is really difficult is what is the outcome that I am trying to get towards? Like, what's the piece of paper? And I think in my head that means being able to replace my income. I think that's the piece of paper that I'm looking for. Like, that's the final mark, the graduation piece. Not that I'm done at that point, but I think that's what I'm looking for. And then number two, the other thing that is difficult is what are the mile markers? Like, what are the building blocks that I need to get there? And I feel like I've identified a good amount of them, but it's unwritten and it's all in here. And so that's been difficult. And then, so I have to create the outline or the end goal. I have to create the mile markers or the building blocks. And then I have to create the kind of like monthly and weekly constraints and deadlines. And then, I have to adapt and pivot to family accordingly. And to real life, I should say, not just family, but real life. And then I have to work the plan. Then I have to live in it. And then I'm constantly tinkering with it. So like, it is an odd thing to be building something where you are both the visionary of what you're trying to get towards. You're designing it. You see the end goal. You're, I guess, architecting. I don't know what the word is, but you're building everything out. And then you're going in and trying to do it. But then you have to pull back to look at the big picture. And then you have to work in it and then work on it and then work in it and work on it. And it's just a mess. So I have been fairly overwhelmed lately with my deadlines and my outcomes. And I think this is partly why, is because I am not only working in it towards something, I have to define that something, which I think I know what it is. I wrote out a business plan in a previous video, which you can check out. I'll link at the end here. So I did write that out, but it's just been difficult. And then creating mile markers and deadlines and outcomes. Yeah, that's really hard. So anyways, that's it for now. It's hard to build a business. All right.